Happy Saturday, everybody. There's a lot going on in H-Town. Michael Crockett is his name.
Yes, it is. And AV is in the building as well. You hear me?
And listen, we are on the final Saturday of the month. This time is definitely going by real fast, but it is a good day to do some great things in the community. And I'm excited that you have, of course, from Muhammad Mas 45. You grew up on the south side of H-Town. You know about this. You pass by going to some of your favorite places to hang out, but if you want a real wisdom and knowledge and truth, you had to go by and check out Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad. He is in the building with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and Assalamu alaikum means peace be unto you, to the Praise 92.1 listening audience. I want to thank my brother Michael Crockett, for having me on the program today. We've got an exciting day this Saturday. I mean, it's like the beauty of it is that, you know, oftentimes religion and politics, and there's so much civil strife going on, and that, you know, oftentimes when we're trying to proselytize people to get them to see the scripture or to see God from our point of view, or we're in such partisanship, whether it be political partisanship or there's some kind of social or civic partisanship, we oftentimes find ourselves divided. Even language divides us. But we're here today to talk about harmony.
Yeah, man.
The sounds of harmony.
Yeah.
And, you know, music, there's a message in the music. And there is a universal sound that all of us can agree with. If you heard a cellist or someone who was playing a violin or playing a trumpet, just playing it over these airwaves, AV, you would know whether they're black, white, Muslim, Christian, Jew,
Right.
or agnostic.
Come on.
You
now.
would just say, oh, that's some beautiful music. And then, you know, Minister Farrakhan has taught us, he said to us when we were out in California at Nipsey Hussle's funeral, he said, keep music in your life. And so as I think about, you know, my years of going to HBCU, going to Hampton, and walking on the campus and going to Clark Hall, and listening to Roland Carter, who was our choir director, Hampton's choir director, I would sometimes sit and I would listen to the old Negro spirituals.
Yeah.
Those old spirituals were put together by Nathaniel Dett. He went and he listened to the ex-slaves. He listened to the music. He put the music on paper, and he got the language in which they say, you know, everybody talking about heaven ain't going to heaven, not heaven, heaven. You know,
Yeah.
he put that together. And all of these songs he put together, and he put together what we call the Negro spiritual hymns. And of course, going forward, you know, as we think about gospel, as many of our people left the South on the Great Migration and went north to the Midwest, you had gospel music. So, you know, Precious Lord, Take My Hand, you know, Lead Me On, Help Me Stand, you know, after the tragedy in his life, he wrote that. And so they're traditionalists say, I'd rather listen to the Negro spirituals, that's gospel, it's too much. And then you come up to the modern times with the Kurt Franklin and others, say, well, that's a little bit too much, that praise dancer, that's a little bit too much, I need a little tradition thing. But the theme of it is that regardless of whether you're talking about the Negro spirituals, whether you're talking about the gospels, whether you're talking about the modern expression of praise, you got to know music.
Yeah, you got
So music is universal. So we know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, long before he became a preacher or teacher of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we know that he was an accomplished violinist.
Right.
Wow.
And calypso singer and others. But violin, his mother put him on the violin when he was very young, and he aspired to be like Yasser Heifetz, which was one of the greatest Russian Jewish violinist in the world. He aspired to be that. In fact, Minister Farrakhan, back in the day, there was a show called the Ted Mack Amateur Hour, and he was on that amateur hour, and he played his violin. And they asked him, they said, young Louis, what do you aspire to be? You know, he told them, I want to aspire to be like my hero, my hero Yasser Heifetz. And whatnot. But, you know, they eventually asked him, well, he said, well, you also run track. He said, yeah, well, can you play that violin as fast as you run? And he started, you know, he said, yeah, well, that's what they put over the air. But he aspired to be like the greatest of all.
Right.
And one thing Minister Farrakhan has done is that when he became the student and a teacher and a minister for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he put down his music. And then he picked it back up again. Because it's anything you give up for God, anything you give up for the mission of the resurrection of our mentally and spiritually dead people, God will give it back to you twofold.
Wow.
And so what Minister Farrakhan at our last Savior's Day convention in 2024 in Detroit, after the main lecture that he gave, we had a dinner. And in that dinner, we had a musical ensemble of our young people who play violin, who play cello, who play piano, who play classical music, some of which they have themselves composed.
Right.
And he said to us at that dinner, he said, one day we're going to have our own symphony orchestra.
I love that.
That being said, music is universal.
Yeah, man.
And so we are proud on this day tonight at the Joe Ratliff Lifelong Learning Center. We're going at 6 p.m. tonight. We're going to have the Sounds of Harmony. We have brought in young people from all across the country, and right here in Houston, we have some artists right here from Houston whose names I'm gonna drop some names.
Drop some names.
Do some name dropping, baby. Do some name dropping.
So we have, for instance, we have sister guest performance from a sister named Naja Jakor. And
she's tough. Yeah.
She sung a song at one time for me, man. You know,
you already know.
What a mighty God we serve, boy. She did. And then we got a sister who's a cellist. Her name is Symphony Pringle.
Okay.
And she attended University of Houston. She plays the cello, and she's one of the great ones. Brother Gregory Lewis. He's an accomplished musician, and he's a violinist and a jazz pianist. We have Jawad Muhammad. He's 23 years old. He's currently a senior at Prairie View A&M University. He plays tenor saxophone. We have a sister named Latanya Magnificent Muhammad. She's a spoken word artist. Right. She's magnificent. You heard her when you were at the dedication.
Oh yeah. I love her. She amazing, man.
So we got the Tarika Davenport. She's a junior at Sam Houston State University. She graduated from Springwoods High School, and she's a major in Spanish, an education major, and a minor in music. And wow, man, let me just go. Vivian Mosley. She went to she's alumna of Prairie View A&M and of the Community Music Center here in Houston. I mean, it just goes on and on. We've got so many people who are flying in from out of town to come. And again, once again, you know, these sounds of harmony is how do we unite? How do we unite the human family? You know, how do we go about it in such a way? So we've got people who, for instance, you know, the Minister Farrakhan teaches us, AV, that, and Brother Michael, that for every physical reality, there's a spiritual reality.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
So we had kept in our prayers. I participated in the prayer and praise program for the Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yes.
And so you have to ask yourself the question: after she served us, set the politics aside. You cannot deny that Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee would be at two places at once.
Right.
She got a body
She
double.
served the community all day long.
So she has to have
You know,
one.
so regardless of whom or what. But you know, if she has this infirmity, we have to ask our question on a spiritual level, what's going on? And we look at our city, there's strife in our city, there's strife in our state, there's strife in our country, and there's war going on in the world. Can we, for 2.5 hours, just sit down one with another, brothers and sisters, regardless of creed, class, or color, come together and be together and just listen to music and celebrate young people?
Yeah.
Right.
Celebrate young people.
I love this lineup that you have of great artists. Sounds of Harmony tonight, 6 p.m. At the Joe Ratliff Lifelong Learning Center, of course, which is on the campus of Brentwood Church, 13033 Landmark Drive. Tickets are on sale, so you still have time to get tickets. Where can they go and purchase tickets for tonight?
You want to have me now? See, now you caught me with
that's
my,
all right.
with my
Listen.
website. You can go to. Oh my!
Because I want them to get it 6 p.m. tonight. This is going to be real good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. I'm gonna be in the building, baby.
Yeah.
Well, they
Pull up on the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, come on by and be a part of this. Of course, it's going to be a great time. As you said, you know, not only with these wonderful young artists, and I just like the fact that it's an opportunity to display the gifts of so many young people who are going to be doing some great things, and to be a part of this wonderful fundraiser as well. So they got VIP tickets, general admission tickets as well. We're going to put it up so you'll be able to hit the QR code so you can get those tickets for tonight.
They can go to the website. I got the website.
Yeah.
I'm late, but always on time.
Well, I got
Always.
you. I waited for you.
We talking about how timely you are a few minutes ago. You did.
I know how to wait for you. I'll pull it out.
Yeah.
So we can go to the website. It's NOI Musical Ensemble That's NOI musicalensemble.org. And you can go there, or you can call 713-398-2681. That's 713-398-2681. But you can come and get the door, and if you're going to come at the door, like all performances, sister and brother, get there at 5:30.
Please do.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
5:30.
yeah.
Make sure so you could be in your seat so we can start the program. Don't be walking in Hollywood time.
Get your excellent meet and greet on, because every time Dr. Muhammad put together an event, the people that come out are the people you need to meet. You understand me? When the community come out, I always say, man, y'all the stars.
Yeah.
So we come out and see each other, greet each other, and then, as he said, is all the cultures come together, right, in unity to enjoy the moment together, man. Then we go and experience that red carpet treatment when we listen to these violins. You understand me?
Dr. Muhammad, do you play?
No.
But he might sing something though. Let's see if we can get him to do that.
Come on now. But the truth of the matter is, my mother actually had me playing the cello.
Okay, never knew that.
But this is I'm gonna tell the story. I
Okay.
grew up in New York, and I went to the St. James School of Arts. And my mother, actually, I was playing the bass, but the bass was too big. I'm talking about the bass. I'm talking about
The
bass,
big
bass,
bass.
big
Yeah,
bass.
yeah,
I'm not talking about
yeah.
Boosie.
Boom, boom,
I'm not
boom.
talking about Boosie Rubber Band or Larry Graham. I'm talking about a bass, right?
Yeah.
But it was too big for me, so I said, okay, I'll take up the cello. But they put me in a music class, but the music class was an advanced music class, and
wow.
I was in there for about 2 weeks. I was lost. so finally, the instructor said, "Are you a beginner?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Oh, you shouldn't be in here." So I switched to drama.
Yeah.
And the first play that I was in, believe it or not, AV, it kind of shaped and determined my life as it is right now. The first play that I played in, Brother Michael, was The Emperor's New Clothes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my role was to tell him, "You butt naked."
Yeah.
You think you clean.
yeah,
You think you clean.
yeah.
You think you're clean, but you know what? You got on your PJs.
Yeah.
So that is how you kind of get guided into speaking truth to power.
Yeah.
And speaking truth
And that he
to
did.
power.
You're
man.
exposed.
And that
You're
you
butt
do.
naked.
You
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
But I thank you. I thank you, AV. I thank you, Bill Michael,
Oh,
for
man,
having
thank
us
you.
on again.
Absolutely, man.
I
We
hope
together.
that you will come to NOI musicalensemble.org to get your tickets, order your tickets, or you know, what you were going to say something you were
Yeah, I
saying?
want to, just before we get ready to wrap this up, 6 p.m. tonight, Joe Ratliff Lifelong Learning Center, 13033 Landmark Drive, the Sounds of Harmony. It's going to be a great night. Of course, this fundraiser is going to be doing some great things in the community. I wanted to know, just if you can, with us just about a minute or so, just share about how can we come together. Here's why, because I said when you walked in the door today, I've been seeing you everywhere, literally.
Yeah, man.
From Lawson's funeral to the prayer with Sheila Jackson Lee and other places. You know, stepping across what would appear to be divided lines. But at the same time, I remember you said something with Dr. Lawson, how everybody, they encompassed and brought everybody to the table so that they would have a voice. How do we get back to that?
I think we have to look at what keeps us apart. And Mr. Farrakhan said something to me one time in coffee that just blew my mind. I was talking about someone I had a difference with, and he looked at me like you're looking at me right now, Brother Michael, and he
Yes,
said,
sir.
"You don't love deep enough."
Wow.
Whoa.
I like that. That's a mic drop right there.
So I'm dropping the mic.
It's a mic drop, Mike.
Come on,
That's
man.
a mic drop.
We have to learn how to love deep enough.
Yeah, man.
When you love deep enough, what did Jesus say? Jesus said, he said, "Well, Master, how many times shall I forgive my brother for your family? 7 times 70.
Yeah.
And that's 490.
Man.
At least.
That's my math. I did know that.
I see you. Yeah.
490. That's 490 times you got to forgive your brother.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that we're so tolerant with everyone else, but we're so intolerant with one another.
Right.
So at a certain point in time, we've got to love deep enough. And when we love deep enough, if you look at what's going on in the world, look at what's going on in our country, in our state, in our city, and even in our community, if you would love like Brother Michael loves me, and I love Brother Michael, UAV, that we come up here and we're not spiritual gang banging.
Right. Yeah.
We're
at
bringing
all.
together, the children of God are coming together. Now, I'll close with another drop, Mike. Is Genesis 25 and 9. What did when Abraham passed away, his two
Ishmael
sons,
and Isaac.
Ishmael and Isaac, came together to bury their father.
Right.
So at a certain point in time, we got to bury the hatchets. We got to bury these spiritual hatchets and come together, man, for the sake of humanity. Because right now we're on the precipice of the old world going out and a new
Yes,
world
sir.
coming in.
Right.
So thank you so much.
I gotta
Woo.
ask you a question though. Now, you're a very astute brother, man. Right? You very learned. I mean, in every come on, man. You well-rounded and educated, right? What inspired you to become that guy? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, what inspired me was the examples that were before me. In my neighborhood, you could be a pimp pusher, or you could be a preacher, or you could be a businessman, or you could be a performer. I had choices in front of me, and God blessed me to have a mother that did things for me. Sometimes I thought she was doing things to me, but she did things for me to make me into the man that I am. School choice, my mother put me in private school, she put me in parochial school, she put me in public school. So I always had a well-rounded education as far as I'm concerned. And we lived in a spiritual house. I won't say it was really religious, strictly religious, but it was very spiritual in terms of that. And I was always exposed to different cultures and different people. And she would send me, at 12 years old, I was sent to Jamaica, West Indies. I've gone to all the museums and all that. This is what the kind of way that she raised me. And of course, I was exposed to much growing up in New York. You have all the cultures of the world right there in New York City.
Right.
So that prepared me for who I am right now. But along the way, Bro Michael, you'll always find that always be somebody that along the way they'll try to trip you up. So my high school guidance counselor told me when I brought up my college papers, I said, Mr. Laney, will you help me fill out these college papers? And AV, she said to me, oh, Bob, my name is Robert.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, you're not really college
I already
material.
know. Yeah.
You right? And I told her, well, it's not a matter of whether I go to college, it's a matter of where I go to college.
Right.
I said, you better fill out these papers. You don't want my mama come up here.
That's a real
She
statement.
pulled up the papers, and the day I graduated high school, I got my acceptance letter from Hampton Institute at that time, Hampton University. I finished in 4 years.
Yeah.
And then later on, because of my community work, I was offered a scholarship at Texas Southern University where I got my master's and my PhD in urban plan environmental policy. So I always had it in me, but somebody has to give you an opportunity to do it. So I thank God for the opportunity. I thank God, Brother Michael, for you allowing me on these sacred airwaves, the People's Sacred Airwaves, Praise 92.1. I thank you, AV, for hosting us because this is Houston's inspirational station.
Yeah.
And Brother Michael is the man that, he's like,
Listen, Dr. Muhammad, I don't want you to let go of this because you said something in that is so powerful in the sense of exposure. How important is that, especially from the parent to the child?
Yeah,
and
man.
making them the person or
because
developing
we're
them
dealing
to
with
the
that
person
right now.
Because a lot of kids don't have that exposure.
That's the main reason I asked the question, so you could mention the example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the minister coined a phrase. He said, he who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes for you the circumference of your activity. So to the extent that we expose the children to a range of choices is the extent that we will have a range of activity in their life. There's some of our children that haven't left their own neighborhood.
Yeah, man.
Come on,
Many
bro.
brothers join the mosque. When we say, okay, we're going to Savior's Day in Detroit or Chicago, they've never been out of the state.
Come on, man.
And if you're talking about going out of the country, a passport for what?
Come on, brother.
So it's important that we expose our children to everything, and then let them make the choice, because that's the gift that God gives all of us is free will. But if you don't direct that will, remember now, the prince of this world is Satan. This is Satan's, this is God's universe, God's planet, but this is Satan's world. And remember, after Jesus fasted for them 40 days and 40 nights, who did he meet before he went to be Satan? He came, he just rolled up on him, and in the end asked him to worship it. Said, he took him on a high place. He showed him all the cities and the nations of the world. He said, and the powers therein. He said, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give you all of that. So he can't give what didn't belong to him.
Period.
So we got thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We want God's will to be done in heaven, but it will be done through men and women who are believers, who are willing to deny themselves, pick up their cross, and follow the master.
Right.
And this is what we're attempting to do. So thank you for having me on again tonight, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Come on out.
Come on out.
Come on out. No spiritual gang banging, all that. Yeah, Muslims in a sense put it on, but there's Christians on this program.
Yes,
there's
sir.
everybody on this program. We're coming together, and we're meeting, of course, on the grounds of Brentwood Baptist Church. So come on, y'all.
It's a
going to be a
beautiful
great time. Yeah, Joe Ratliff Lifelong Learning Center, 13033 Landmark, starting at 6 6 p.m., so get there early. VIP tickets are available, and of course, general admission. And what's that website one more time? So people can.
NOI Musical Ensemble.
Yeah.
.org.
Yeah,
Yes.
love it.
Ensemble.
Ensemble. It's going to be an ensemble,
yeah.
man.
Ensemble.org.
Yeah. I feel like we're out here now, so we might as well just kind of keep rolling and keep them going. I wanted to know, too, especially in the summertime, how do we maximize the moment with our young adults and our youth? How do we maximize this opportunity? Because sometimes when kids get away from school during the school year, sometimes education for one reason or another is put on pause.
We have to pay attention. You got to pay attention. Because what happens is that because of the economy in such a way, and Brother Michael understands this as a businessman, sometimes both parents are working.
Period.
And or a mother that may be raising a child, a father that's raising a child by him or herself, is working 2 jobs just to have life insurance, to have good health insurance,
really, true story.
or to be able, because their credit is not good.
Right.
You know, they're scrambling, right? They can't watch their children. Sometimes the television is raising them. Sometimes their own siblings are raising them. Sometimes the neighborhood is raising them.
Right.
So we have to find a way, brother, to plug in. So my appeal is to the pastors, my appeal is to the community centers, my appeal is to the business people in this city that listen to this Houston Inspirational State. Be inspired to look after our youth. This is what this program tonight is about. Sounds of Harmony is about our youth. It's about healing.
Beautiful thing.
It's about unity. It's about coming together. Find a way. Find a child that you would mentor. Find a child that you perhaps would have an internship. Keep them busy doing something. And if we would do that, then perhaps we wouldn't become statistics. We can become the potential that we were born to do. I mean, you think about an AV. A man that is virile and has all of that, he may release inside of the sacred womb, the laboratory of God, a woman's womb, close to 1 billion sperm.
Right.
Only one makes it.
Yes, sir.
That one. So none of us that are walking the earth today is a mistake.
No, sir.
Right.
Not at all.
So, but we all have a quality, a DNA, fingerprints, voice prints that are separate and apart from any human being. There's never been anybody like you, and there'll never be anybody again like you. And what we have to realize is that all of us have a talent and a skill nobody else has. And Minister Farrakhan says like this: blessed is he or she who discovers their purpose and fulfills it.
Yeah.
Right.
See, the reason why you roll the way you roll, Brother Michael Crockett, and the way you do AV is because you've discovered your purpose in life and you're fulfilling it.
Absolutely.
And so this is why you do it effortlessly. And me too.
Yeah.
I was born to do this,
Yeah.
and I'm born to be here, and I love Houston, Texas. Regardless of where I was raised, I love this city.
Man,
I love the
I'm on
people.
the same page, straight out of Memphis, man. But they, as AV christened me, I'm a Houstonian now, right?
Welcome to H-Town.
Yeah. I definitely got dual citizenship.
Well, I've been here longer. Than I lived on the East Coast. So it's like I tell people, I got here as soon as I could.
Yes.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about the kids, I want to say this. I was having a conversation with somebody, right? And we was talking about, me out to the throne, Lil Crock, right? They said, well, he's in a unique situation, right? He's in a favored situation. He said his mom and his dad that had him are in the same house raising him, right? Says now he in a Christian home, right? So he in a house where God is, right? Then she and I are opposite but the same. So all of his lessons on the same subject are similar but different to get to the same goal, right? You brought up something in regards to managing his time, right? So managing the child's time because both parents are working, right? First of all, I think that the community need to get back to the community raising the kids, right? Yeah, because without my community, Lil Crock wouldn't be where he is. Shout out to Clay making sure that he get to his class today because, again, he studying investments. We talked about that, right? So he got to be at that class from 1 to 3. Then I'm gonna still be out in the field, and so will my girl. But Swag gonna make sure that he gets to basketball practice at 7. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So all of his uncles are falling in, right? And we got to get back to this type of community. I'm again, when it comes to Lil Crockett, it's very important to me that I surround him with entrepreneurs. As you were referring to the example, I didn't want to dig into it, but the example that he see, I'm not going to be the only example. His entire environment is filled with examples of black men being entrepreneurs, black women being entrepreneurs and taking care of their families,
Yeah.
right? And everybody taking care of their families. Actually, his friends that he hang with, all of them are products of that type of environment, right? So that we can make sure that all of his examples are what they need to be for him to become what God created him to be. So he can say, how Minister Farrakhan said it again, I like that.
He who gives you the diameter of your knowledge
Yeah.
prescribes for you the circumference of your activity.
Man, come on, man, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, when you focus, it makes a major difference. We got about a minute and a half, and talk about the other element that I love. I always brag, especially with our brothers from the Nation of Islam and sisters as well, that element of service.
Yeah,
a lot
man.
of times we live in our own bubble, in our own circle. But here's a community, as Mike talked about, in the world out here, that God has called us to serve as well.
Well, that is the rent that you pay. Muhammad Ali said the rent that you pay is the service that you give to others. That's God that's giving you this time. And Mr. Farrakhan asked the question, as I'm asking the question to our audience, is what are you and I doing with God's time?
Man,
Come on, man. We said it. What are we doing with what now?
What are you doing with God's time?
Because it belongs to him and he's sharing it with us, man.
There you go.
That's another. We're gonna put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah. We're going to have to bring you back, bro.
Yeah.
We're going to have to have Dr. Muhammad back in the building
All the
again.
time. Man, a wealth of knowledge and just pure. I love his heart. Just love the way that he is, and I love how he serves the community. It's
Yeah, man,
always a
and love
bright
on the
light.
people, man, at all
Period.
times.
You will never doubt that with Dr. Muhammad. Of course, Sounds of Harmony tonight. Joe Ratliff Lifelong Learning Center, 13033 Landmark Drive, 6 p.m. Want you to get your tickets. Dr. Muhammad, give us that website one more time.
NOImusicalensemble.org.
Get those tickets like not 5 minutes from now.
Right now.
Yeah, get the tickets right now and be a blessing. It's going to be a lot of great people who are going to be out there tonight. And then I want you all make sure you make it a point to visit Muhammad Mosque 45. Give me the address.
4443 Old Spanish Trail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be in your seat at 9:30, and we'll have you out of there by 12 noon.
We might hang around and go eat too. We like
We
to
might.
eat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well if you haven't had a bean pie,
Yeah.
Well, we had a bunch of those.
you
Yeah.
got to have a bean pie. That is the we
yeah.
call it the food of the gods.
Because we learned to eat to live over there. Yeah.
When you see the sea,
You know it's me, and when you hear the sea, it's Crockett and.
AV, what a delight this has been. Dr. Abdul Aleem Muhammad, our special guest on Let's Talk Business with Crockett and AV. We'll see you guys next Saturday.
It's a beautiful thing.